Hello, my friends. Welcome to my channel. I am Zoe. Thank you so much for listening today. You know, sometimes you wake up in the morning, and before you even open your eyes, you already feel like you're behind. The thoughts start running, fast and loud, as if the world is already waiting for you to catch up. You think about the messages you didn't reply to, the tasks you didn't finish, the mistakes you made yesterday, and all the ways you wish you were better. You haven't even had breakfast yet, and somehow you're already tired, not in your body, but deep inside your heart. You tell yourself that today you have to be better. You have to be strong, productive, kind, patient, and perfect. But as the day begins, you start to notice that the harder you try to be perfect, the more you lose your peace. It's like chasing a shadow that always moves when you move. You reach out, and it slips away again. Perfection does that. It gives you something to run toward, but never something to rest in. You scroll through your phone and see faces smiling, people traveling, living their best lives, and you wonder, why can't I be like that? You don't know that behind every perfect picture is a tired soul who's also trying to hold it together. You don't see the tears behind the filters, the loneliness behind the smiles. You only see the best part of someone's story and start to believe your own is not enough. I know that feeling too. I used to think that if I could just do everything right, speak perfectly, work perfectly, look perfect, then I would finally feel enough. I believed that perfection would bring me peace. But it didn't. It only made me anxious. Because the truth is, perfection is a moving target. It changes the moment you reach it. No matter how well you do, it whispers, you could do more. And you start to live for that whisper. You start to build your life around approval, validation, and comparison. Every time someone praises you, you feel alive for a moment. Every time someone criticizes you, you crumble. It's exhausting. You wake up one day and realize that you've been living to impress people who weren't even watching that closely. And the worst part? You forget who you really are. You forget the things that once made you happy. You forget the sound of your own laugh when you didn't care what anyone thought. You forget how to rest. There was a time when I believed I could earn peace by working harder, smiling more, saying yes to everything, and keeping everyone happy. But all that did was fill my days with noise. My body was awake, but my soul was tired. I remember one night when I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, thinking about everything I hadn't done, all the people I might have disappointed. My heart felt heavy, my mind loud. I got up, made some tea, and sat by the window. The city outside was still. The air was cold but quiet. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't try to fix anything. I just sat there and breathed. In, out, slowly. It was strange at first, because silence can feel uncomfortable when you've been running for so long. But after a while, I realized that the silence wasn't empty. It was full of the things I had ignored. My thoughts, my feelings, my truth. And in that quiet moment, I understood something that changed me. Peace isn't something you chase. It's something you allow. It's what happens when you stop fighting with yourself. From that night on, I started to pay attention to how much I rushed, how often I apologized for things that weren't my fault, how many times I said, "I'm fine," when I wasn't. I noticed how often I tried to shrink myself just to make others comfortable. It was a slow process, learning to stop, learning to breathe, learning to just be. But slowly I began to realize that perfection wasn't the goal, presence was. The moment you stop trying to be perfect, you start to feel more human. You start to listen. You start to forgive yourself. You start to notice how beautiful ordinary things are. The sound of the rain, the smell of coffee, the feeling of sunlight on your skin. You begin to understand that life isn't meant to be flawless. It's meant to be felt. You're not meant to always be okay. You're meant to grow, to break, to rebuild. You're meant to learn who you are when everything feels uncertain. And maybe that's what makes you beautiful. The fact that you keep going. Even when it's hard, there's something powerful about the moments when you stop pretending you have it all together. Because that's when you realize that you were never supposed to be perfect. You were supposed to be real. And being real means having days when you don't smile, when you feel lost, when you question everything. It means accepting your flaws, your scars, your fears, and knowing that they don't make you less. They make you whole. There's this quiet strength that comes from knowing yourself, from saying, I don't have to prove anything today. I just have to be. You start to walk differently. You speak with more kindness, not just to others, but to yourself. You stop comparing your timeline to someone else's. You understand that everyone is walking their own road, and no one's path looks the same. You begin to see that your worth isn't measured by how busy you are, how perfect your life looks, or how many people approve of you. Your worth is simply in your being. You are worthy because you exist, because you feel, you care, you love. And even on the days when you fall apart, you still have value. You still matter. So the next time you feel that heavy pressure in your chest, the one that tells you you're not doing enough, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, who am I trying to be perfect for? You might realize that the person who expects the most from you is you. And maybe it's time to be a little softer with yourself. You've carried so much for so long. You've tried your best every single day. Even when no one noticed, you still showed up. That's strength. That's courage. You deserve to rest. You deserve to breathe without guilt. You deserve to be proud of yourself, not for being perfect, but for being real. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to fix every broken piece. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is just stop and let yourself be. Sit with your thoughts. Feel your emotions. Cry if you need to. Laugh when you can. Take a walk without your phone. Look at the sky. Watch how it changes without trying to. Because that's life. It's not meant to be controlled. It's meant to be experienced. When you slow down, you start to see how much beauty you've been running past. You start to notice that life isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present, to be gentle, to be here. And maybe that's the real definition of peace. Not the absence of problems, but the ability to face them without losing yourself. You see, the world will always have noise. People will always have opinions. Life will always throw challenges your way. But calm doesn't come from controlling everything around you. It comes from learning how to stay steady inside, no matter what happens. You start to realize that peace doesn't mean everything is perfect. It means you've stopped fighting the things you cannot change. It means you've learned to live with imperfections, both in the world and within yourself. Sometimes you'll wake up and feel like you're not doing enough. Sometimes your reflection won't make you smile. Sometimes you'll look at your life and wonder if you're falling behind. But here's the truth that I hope you hold on to. Growth isn't always visible. Healing isn't always loud. Sometimes, the biggest changes happen quietly, deep inside you, in moments when no one's watching. You're learning how to stand again, how to forgive yourself, how to let go. And that takes courage. That takes strength. You might not see it now, but every small step you take, even the ones that look like standing still, is part of your becoming. So when you feel like you're not enough, remember this. You are in progress, not behind. You are unfolding, not failing. You are becoming, not broken. The flowers don't rush to bloom. The ocean doesn't hurry its waves. Why should you? You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to not have it all figured out yet. Because life is not a race. It's a rhythm. Your rhythm. Some seasons will be full of light and laughter. Others will feel heavy and quiet. Both are needed. Both are part of your story. You don't need to rush to reach the good parts. You can learn to love the in-between, the soft, uncertain middle where everything is still taking shape. That's where growth really happens. When you stop trying to control the outcome, you begin to notice the beauty of the process. You begin to trust that things will come together in their own time. I used to believe that if I slowed down, I would fall behind. That if I didn't work harder, someone else would take my place. But what I learned is that peace and pressure can't live in the same heart. You can't bloom when you're holding your breath. The moment you stop running from yourself, you start to feel life again. You start to hear your own heartbeat, soft, steady, enough. You start to remember that being human is not about doing everything right. It's about feeling, learning, and loving, even when things are uncertain. Some days you'll be proud of yourself. Other days you'll question everything. And both are okay. Both are part of this beautiful, messy human experience. So take a moment right now. Breathe. Really breathe. Feel the air enter your lungs and remind you, you are alive. You're doing your best. You are allowed to slow down. You don't need to carry everything at once. You don't have to hold every piece together. It's okay to let some things fall, to let some people go, to rest your heart for a while. You don't have to earn rest. You deserve it simply because you exist. I know that sometimes the pressure to be perfect comes from love. You want to be someone others can count on. You want to make your family proud, your friends happy, your work flawless. But remember, people who truly love you don't need your perfection. They need your presence. They need your warmth, your laughter, your honesty. They need you, not the version that hides her tired eyes, but the one that breathes deeply, that shows up even when she's unsure. You are not here to impress anyone. You are here to live fully, deeply, truthfully. And the beautiful thing is, when you start living that way, life starts to feel softer. The pressure starts to fade. You begin to feel lighter, freer, calmer. Because you no longer need to prove that you're enough, you just know it. You begin to understand that happiness isn't found in perfect plans or flawless days. It's found in small moments, the quiet mornings, the gentle hugs, the honest talks, the sound of rain when you finally slow down. Those are the real treasures, the moments when you feel connected to yourself and to the world around you. That's what you've been looking for all along. Sometimes, you don't realize how heavy perfection feels until you finally put it down. You spend so many years trying to be everything for everyone. The reliable one, the smart one, the kind one, the one who never breaks. And somewhere in that quiet sacrifice, you forget what it feels like to simply be human. You forget that it's okay to make mistakes, to rest, to not have the answers all the time. Maybe you grew up being praised only when you did something right, when you achieved, when you pleased others. So naturally, you learned that love was something you had to earn, not something freely given. And that belief followed you into adulthood like a shadow you couldn't shake off. But here's a gentle truth. You were worthy long before you were perfect. Even in your most unpolished, uncertain moments, there was still beauty in you. The kind that doesn't need fixing, doesn't need validation. It just needs to be seen. You know, I've met people who seem to have it all together. Their smiles are bright, their routines are flawless, their words are always measured. But when the night gets quiet and the world slows down, that's when the truth often whispers. Behind the calm face lies exhaustion, the exhaustion of holding everything so tightly, the fear that if they let go, everything might fall apart. Maybe you know that feeling too, the endless chase for control, the invisible pressure to always look composed. But life, in its purest form, is not about control. It's about connection. It's about sitting with the uncertainty and saying, even if I don't have it all figured out, I'm still okay. You don't need to have a perfect morning routine, or a perfectly organized desk, or the perfect words to say in every conversation. What you need is gentleness, the kind that tells you it's okay to start slow, to stumble, to grow quietly without the world watching. Sometimes progress looks like doing nothing at all, like letting your body rest, letting your heart heal. There's a strange peace in surrendering, in allowing life to unfold at its own rhythm. Because when you stop trying so hard to perfect everything, you start to notice the small, beautiful details. The sunlight on your skin, the sound of your breathing, the comfort of being exactly where you are. You might look at others and think they've found the secret to balance, that they've mastered the art of peace. But the truth is, everyone is figuring it out as they go. No one truly has it all together, not even the ones who seem unshakable. The difference is, some people have learned to stop fighting with themselves. They've learned that self-acceptance is not a destination, but a practice, something you return to again and again, especially on the days when you forget. And if you're listening to this right now, maybe this is your reminder. You are allowed to rest without feeling guilty. You are allowed to say no, even when others don't understand. You are allowed to not be productive every second of the day. You are allowed to exist, simply exist, and still be enough. There was a story I once read about a potter who made the most beautiful ceramic bowls. But sometimes one would crack in the kiln. Instead of throwing it away, the potter would fill the cracks with gold. The Japanese call it kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold, to show that the breakage and repair are part of the object's history, not something to hide. I think that's what self-acceptance feels like. We spend so much time trying to hide our cracks, our insecurities, our past mistakes, our pain, when in reality, those are the places where the light gets in. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Maybe not perfect, maybe not certain, but real. And that's far more powerful than perfection could ever be. You know, when you let go of the pressure to be perfect, something magical happens. Life starts to feel lighter. Conversations become easier. Smiles become real. The world feels less like a competition and more like a journey you're allowed to enjoy. You begin to see that everyone around you is also trying to be good enough, trying to love themselves, trying to heal from something you may never know. And in that understanding, you become softer, kinder, more human. Perfection says, be more. Peace says, be here. And when you start choosing peace, even in small ways, turning off your phone for an hour, breathing before reacting, smiling at yourself in the mirror, your life slowly transforms. You begin to live, not to perform. You begin to love yourself, not because you've achieved something, but because you finally see your own light. And maybe that's all we really need. Not a perfect life, but a peaceful one. Not endless achievements, but quiet moments of truth. The kind that remind you, you're still learning, still growing, still worthy, right here, right now. So tonight, when everything feels too much, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let go of the noise. the comparisons, the expectations, and whisper to yourself, I'm enough. I've always been enough. Because the moment you believe that, truly believe it, is the moment you become free. Sometimes healing doesn't come with a big moment. It doesn't arrive with fireworks or grand changes. Sometimes healing comes quietly in the soft moments when you finally stop running from yourself. Maybe it happens on a slow morning when you drink your coffee without checking your phone, or on a quiet walk when you suddenly realize the world isn't as heavy as it used to be. Healing is not a race. It's not even a plan. It's a return to yourself again and again until the noise in your head starts to fade. You start to see that not everything needs fixing. Some things just need space. Some feelings just need time. And some dreams, they need you to breathe before chasing them again. It's strange, isn't it? How we spend years trying to become better, smarter, more capable. But the moment we allow ourselves to just be, that's when peace quietly enters. You learn to love slow days. You stop judging your pace. You stop comparing your path. You begin to understand that calm doesn't mean boring. It means safe. It means home. It means you're finally living in rhythm with your own heartbeat, not the noise of the world. I remember reading a passage once that said, "You cannot find peace by avoiding life." At first, I didn't understand it. I thought peace was something you reached by stepping away from people, from noise, from everything. But slowly I realized peace isn't about hiding. It's about learning to stay grounded even when life is messy, to breathe even when things don't go as planned, to hold yourself gently even when you're still healing. You don't have to be fearless. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest with yourself. Say, I'm trying. Say, I'm learning. Say, I don't have it all together, but that's okay. Those words, they are small, but they open doors inside you. Doors that lead to freedom. If you've been carrying the weight of expectations to look a certain way, to succeed, to always be okay, I hope you can set them down for a while. The world will not end if you take a break. You will not lose your worth if you pause. You are allowed to take your time to heal, to grow, to rebuild. Every scar you carry tells a story not of weakness, but of survival. Every time you got back up, every time you chose kindness over bitterness, every time you whispered to yourself, I'll try again tomorrow, that was strength. Quiet strength. The kind that doesn't need an audience. The kind that keeps you moving even when no one sees. And maybe that's what true peace looks like. Not a perfect life, but a gentle heart. Not a world without storms, but a mind that knows how to stay calm in the rain. If today feels heavy, breathe. If you feel lost, look up at the sky. The clouds may be moving slowly, but they are still moving. And so are you. You don't need to fix your whole life tonight. Just take one small step. Drink water, stretch, open a window, write one honest thought in your journal. Healing is built from these tiny moments of care. One day, you'll look back and realize you're not where you used to be. The pressure is lighter, the noise is softer, and you, somehow, feel more like yourself. There will still be days when the old voices return, the doubt, the fear, the urge to be perfect again. When that happens, don't fight them. Just notice them. Smile gently and say, I see you, but I don't need you anymore. Because awareness is power. It's how you remind yourself that you're in control now. In the end, life was never meant to be perfect. It was meant to be felt deeply, honestly, beautifully. It's okay if your story isn't neat. It's okay if your path is slow. You're still writing it. You're still learning. You're still enough. So tonight, before you sleep, place your hand over your heart. Feel that quiet rhythm. That's you. Alive, growing, becoming. That's the sound of someone who's made it through every hard day before this one. Someone who's still here, still trying. And as you breathe out, let these words stay with you. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You just have to be real. And you already are. You are doing better than you think. You are growing in ways you can't yet see. So keep breathing, keep going, and keep being you.